Captain Finn was a pirate like no other. He had a sturdy ship, a loyal crew, and a gleaming sword that made everyone on the high seas tremble. But there was one thing that Captain Finn dreaded more than anything: water. It wasn't that he disliked the ocean or its beauty, no, he loved the sea. But there was one problem: Captain Finn couldn't swim. His crew found this out quickly. Whenever they docked or needed to go ashore, the captain would stay aboard, pacing the deck nervously, his heart racing at the thought of stepping onto the slippery planks that led to the water. His fear was a secret no one had spoken of aloud, but everyone knew. "Captain Finn, what's the matter?" his first mate, Jolly Jack, would laugh. "You've sailed across every ocean, yet you're scared of the one thing that makes you a pirate: water." The crew would chuckle and shake their heads. They didn't understand the fear that held their captain back. How could a pirate not swim? But Captain Finn kept quiet, hiding his fear behind a brave face and a loud, commanding voice. He knew he was different, and it bothered him. One night, while the ship sailed through a dark, quiet sea, the wind suddenly changed. The sky grew black, and the waves started to rise higher and higher, crashing violently against the ship's sides. It was a storm, a terrible one. The crew scrambled to tie down the sails, secure the cargo, and batten down the hatches. "Captain, we need you on deck," Jolly Jack shouted over the howling wind. Captain Finn rushed to the helm, but when he stepped out, the sight before him took his breath away. A massive wave, higher than the tallest mast, was hurtling toward them. "Hold on tight," Captain Finn shouted, gripping the wheel with white knuckles. But even his strong hands couldn't keep the ship steady. The wave hit with a deafening crash, sending the ship lurching sideways. The crew struggled to keep their balance, but the storm was relentless. Suddenly, a second, even larger wave loomed above them. "We're going to capsize," shouted one of the crewmen. "We have to abandon ship." Captain Finn's heart raced. He knew that abandoning ship meant they'd have to jump into the water, something he couldn't do. Panic surged through him, but he couldn't let his crew see it. He had to do something. He had to face his fear. As the ship rocked dangerously, Captain Finn's mind raced. He could feel the cold spray of the ocean on his face and hear the wind howling like a wild animal. The crew was depending on him, and there was no way out. He couldn't let them down. "Jolly Jack," he called, his voice steady despite the fear in his chest. "Get the lifeboats ready. We're not giving up yet." The first mate hesitated, clearly puzzled. "Captain, we can't leave the ship in this storm." We have no choice," Captain Finn interrupted. "It's the only way." With a deep breath, Captain Finn made his decision. He had to get to the lifeboats, but to do that, he had to cross the slick, wet deck. The water splashed up around him, threatening to pull him overboard. "Stay close to me, crew," he called out, his voice carrying above the storm. "Stay together, and we'll make it through this." Captain Finn hesitated at the edge of the deck. The storm was fierce, and the water seemed to swirl around him, mocking his fear. His heart thudded loudly in his chest, and he could feel his legs shaking. But he couldn't let his crew down, not now. He took a deep breath, then another, and finally, Captain Finn stepped forward, feeling the cold sea rush up to meet him. His legs wobbled, but he kept moving. He wasn't swimming, he wasn't even sure if he would make it. But he was facing his fear, step by step. The crew followed his lead, their eyes wide with awe and respect. Captain Finn was doing it. He was stepping into the water, leading them to safety. "Captain, you're doing it," Jolly Jack shouted, his voice filled with admiration. "I'm not swimming yet," Captain Finn replied with a grin, though he could hardly believe it himself. "But I'm not running from it anymore." Together, Captain Finn and his crew reached the lifeboats. The storm had not yet passed, but they were ready to escape. The lifeboats were lowered, and one by one, the crew climbed aboard, trusting their captain completely. When the storm finally passed, the ocean became calm once more. The sky cleared, revealing a starry night. The crew huddled together, their lifeboats floating serenely on the quiet sea. Captain Finn stood at the helm of the smallest boat, still feeling the rush of adrenaline from his brave actions. "Captain," Jolly Jack said with a smile, "I've never seen you like that before. You faced your fear, and you led us to safety." Captain Finn smiled back, the weight of his fear lighter now. "I'm no hero, Jack. I just did what needed to be done. I might not be able to swim, but I can stand tall when it matters." And from that day on, Captain Finn was no longer just the pirate who couldn't swim. He was the captain who faced his greatest fear, and proved that bravery isn't about being fearless, but about facing the storm head-on. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And for more fun stories, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you next time.